right, let's talk about Botany Manor by Balloon Studios, based out of Devon in the UK. This game is really, really chill. Um, the game itself is set in the 19th century in a time of great scientific discovery, according to their Steam page and their press kit. Basically, you are a character you cannot actually see, but is named Arabella Green, and you're a botanist, and this is your manor, and your job in this game is to learn about various plants, how they interact, and how you can use them to do certain things. I did brief hands-on with it at PAX East and was actually really impressed with the game. There's lots to explore in the game. There's no monsters to kill. This is not a fighting game. This is an exploration game. You learn about the story of the manor and about Arabella and her knowledge simply by going through the game and following along. It's basically a puzzle game. It's single player. It does have full controller support. And basically, you're there growing plants and learning about them and finding things about them that you can use to solve a puzzle, such as an early puzzle involved a camera, an old school 19th century camera. It's like, well, how do you create a flash? Well, you need this powder, and how do you make the powder? How do you get that far? And it's really chill. The music in it is really good. You never see your character. I mean, you can assume who your character actually is. I mean, the fact that she's living or part of this big, I would say landed gentry sort of setting, I would say fairly well-to-do white lady of some sort. I mean, the name Arabella is primarily feminine. And basically, you have to pay attention to what the plants need. Like, okay, this plant needs to be in this area, or this plant needs to be in this soil, or it needs to be, fertilized a certain way, or cultivated a certain way. And you've got this little table where you can catalog your seeds in the various drawers there. Honestly, it looks like a card catalog from an old library. Very small library, but Dewey Decimal System for the win. So this game, again, is made by Balloon Studios. It's a fairly small studio in the UK. And they said that they had done some, contracting work to work on the game. And this is actually their first game. So as a debut effort, this is actually pretty good. So around the game, you're going to, you won't, basically, as you advance through the puzzles, you'll open up more areas to explore, more rooms in the manor itself. I love this one with the stained glass and the light shining in. Oh, it's so good. The artwork in it, again, I wouldn't say it's basic. It's not realistic per se. I mean, it is, but there's no cartoony effects here. One of the interesting things is they're discussing that it's set in a complete historical English manor, and from my eyes, it looks pretty historically accurate for me. I am not a 100% expert on this sort of thing. There are scholars who specialize in this sort of thing, but overall, it looks pretty legit. And as you progress through the story, you'll learn more things about, Arabella and her previous life and the career up to now. This is also a really gorgeous room, with the plaster walls, and again, it does point to the fact that this was pre-refrigeration for the most part, but it doesn't go into a lot of course, the deep down of the history of the period, which again is pretty good. It is a little bit sanitized in that regard. You're not really dealing with any of the larger issues in real life and politics, which is fine. Sometimes you just need to go out and plant some plants and have a little bit of fun with that, and just learn about who these people are and what they were doing. So basically, again, I was really impressed with this game at PAX, and the game is set to release sometime this year. They don't actually have a release date specified beyond sometime this year. Considering the way the game was polished enough at PAX, I would say unless they were working on more aspects or more adding on more rooms to the manor or more lawns and gardens and everything to go through, probably it'll be sooner rather than later, I would imagine. Necessary, but that's just my thoughts on the game. Again, the colors are a rich palette here. Nothing science fiction or out of line or anything like out in it's a realistic sort of color palette, but it's still very bright and vibrant. Again, with some of the lighting choices here, it's a bright sunny day, partly cloudy skies. It's pleasant, right? You can imagine that if this were in America, the temperature would be somewhere around 70 to 75, light breeze, perfectly pleasant, not too hot, not too cold. And yeah, you're just out there doing your gardening and learning more about more about the world around you, and you'll get some clues through botanical posters that you'll wander past and you'll see, and it'll have information for you. There'll be like newspapers, letters, paintings, postcards, and basically this is one of those games that expects you to look around and explore where you are, to suss out every little piece of knowledge you can from your environment, and then use that to find a clue here, and then turn that into something you can work on in the future. Balloon Studios is having this game published by the folks at Whitethorn, and Whitethorn is a good publishing company. They always have a good, cozy, feel-good sort of games out there. A lot of fun, and again, if this is this kind of game that that appeals to your need for something a little bit chill in the chaos of the world, I highly recommend it. And if this is the kind of video you like, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel, and you'll get more of these videos and my long-form gameplay videos from Twitch in your feed. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the funny pages.